Hello, good morning, happy Monday. Hopefully your weekends were really good. Hello, Asatsu. How are you doing today? So I worked a little bit on the project this weekend, off stream, and sort of came to the conclusion I need to, well, I guess not really conclusion. It's more of like the next steps are to build a form, because we discovered that we can create the account. That's fine. Hi, everything's okay. Are you done now? Zilby is here. Although you can't really see him very well, can you? He's here somewhere. You might be able to just spot him. All right. Well, you can just see the tips of his ears. All okay today? All that's great. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to build a form, which I have now completely broken here. We have this, which is bye. Okay. Guess no Zilby cam. So I started working on this and now right, it's yelling at me because BB form needs something. You know what? Let's change that. Let's make it so that BB form does not need anything. So here's my BB form. It's basically just gonna be a wrapper for form, but then I can add on anything I need to it. Uh, like events and other stuff to handle. But right now you're yelling at me because this children. So let's do a prop or default, which should make you, yeah, successfully recompile, which means here we can see now there's a form section. Okay, so I'm going to do a create account sort of prototype here to figure out, okay, how is create account going to work for us? And then we can just copy and paste this code directly into here where we're going to create the account. Well, here. So I'm thinking create account there. What's next? Uh, oh, well, we want their email address. When I say there, I mean like anybody who is signing up for this. So including mine. This is, we're gonna have to have a label, which means we need an input, which I don't have. Uh, in a way, this is kind of, so I've been going back and forth, and I've been realizing that I don't think I've been doing the elements and foundations, or sorry, the elements and modules correctly. An element is like a single design token, essentially. And so thinking about what a form is going to be, a form would have a label and the input, probably not the button. Uh, that entire thing, like the label and input, is a single design token. So therefore, it is an element, I think. So an input here. So we'll do an add input rs. we're guaranteed to need some properties here. Okay, so we're going to create a brand new component inside. Well, what I'm thinking is that we're essentially going to have it's not really a section. We'll probably use a div. And then we're going to have a label. Which is going to have a for, which means this needs to be our first. This needs to be our first thing. We're also going to be taking off of Bootstrap here. So let's go to Bootstrap. Do I have this in here? I do. So this is the general idea of what I want here. So we want a single input is really going to be these two things together. So we're going to have a label and an input. Now this is interesting. There's this help here. Oh, sort of like a description, which I don't think I need to use for this. Stephen, hello. How are you doing today? Happy Monday. So at the very least, it's these two things. So we're going to have an ID for the input. So that's going to be our first properties coming in, which is going to be an attribute value. So for that, it needs a class of form label. And then we have the text here. So whatever the label is. Okay, cannot find value ID. Oh, right, because it's going to be props to the ID. Okay, so far so good. Then we're going to have this input, so I might as well just copy you. Okay, so we're going to have an input, and then with a type. So we can put the type in here. Now type, that can be an enum to give it a specific type, can't it? Let's do that. So let's see. So far, what I'm going to care about, we know we want email and password, and probably having text in there is a good idea too. And then I can add more as needed. And then I need to basically toString this. Okay. What do I want? Like, I guess like two type, or two. Maybe we just do this as a toString, and then well, if it's just gonna be toString, then import toString for bb input type. Now, oh, nice. Okay, we can have this function toString here. Takes in a reference to self, returns a string. That's going to be fine. We're going to, I guess, we'll just match on self. Okay, so if your email, oh, can I implement toString on my own now? Is that a thing? Can I derive it? ToString comes with display. And then what can I derive with this? Just find out. I'm so used to like not doing this. I haven't really thought about that. But yeah, maybe we could do that. So can I actually toString this? So not that. Display. Display is not a macro that I could use. What's the macro that I could use for this? I don't think there is one, right? There's no derive unless you derive more. I meant you should implement display instead of toString. Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah, I don't usually do that. Let's try it. Implement display for that, which means you're not going to be the thing. Okay, formats. We have self and the formatter, and I forget how to do this. Formats values in a given formatter, examples. Oh, we use the write macro to then write it out. Okay. Got it. So pretty much is the same thing that you would expect. It is a result. A centered form. Okay, so we're going to do the write macro, which means I need to. Okay, so we're still going to match on self, which means we want the self email. That's going to be then the write macro. How does this work? We put in a mutable reference to the writer where we're going, and then the thing. Oh, and it can take arguments just like format. Okay. So then that will be the F, and then I can just do whatever I feel like. Twisted Seed, hello. How are you doing today? So in this case, it's going to be email. Then next is password. I'm replacing the other stuff a lot. Like I'm retyping those a lot. So I think I could probably replace this with a okay, so if I do a let like the text. Yeah, let's do like the text is it going to be equal to this? I want I mean I could even one line this by doing the right here. Putting the F, putting in essentially that. Okay, self, and this is the second argument. Send close you, and then return that. Result doesn't implement. Oh, I think this has to be an okay, right? Okay, how does this work again? Okay, so we have that function format, returns result, do this right. Oh, that's it. Why are you upset? Right returns a result, but he didn't update the branches to remove it. Oh, yeah. Oops. Haha. Yeah, I should get rid of these. So we'll static stir these. Okay. There we go. Now you're happy. Oh, you would call f dot right stir match. Wait, that's the thing I can do? Okay, so I could do f dot. Okay, hold on. Let's try this. F dot. Oh, right string. Write some data. Oh, nice. Okay, and then data would then be this match. So if I take you out, remove you, so then you become a match here. Then you're the same. Okay. Okay. Now this label, okay, so the type is going to be this BB input type. Now I probably want this to be a props or else. BB input type text. Expected field declaration. Here in props? Oh wait, type. Okay. This is gonna be the input type because type is a reserved keyword. Can I find? Okay, so it's props. It's not. Oh, is it proper? I think it's proper else. Okay. Oh, we need partial equal implemented. Okay. Then in this, instead of email here, we're going to do props dot input type dot toString. The tag input is a void element, cannot have children. Okay, so at the very end, it does that. Okay, so far so good. Thank you, Asitsu. That's good. I'll try to remember to do the trick of the display more often. I still sometimes fall back to just toString because like my brain is like that's what I want to do. But then there's better ways usually. And also the right string is nice too. Tired Beaver, hello. Rust Lang is the best Lang. Well, it sometimes feels like it. At least it's my favorite Lang right now. Okay, so we have you. Class form control ID. Okay, so this ID is going to be the same ID as above. Okay, so we have described by, which means I want to have this be here like sort of the description. Ooh, described by. Now that has email help here. Oh, right, this thing here. I think, okay, password didn't have that. Okay, so I don't think I really need this, although it might be a good idea for like giving a description to screen readers. That being said, if I'm not going to use it for visual, then I don't really need it here either. Okay, let's delete until space. Okay, so this is looking okay so far. Let's head back into forms. Yeah, let's head back to forms. And let's use this inside of here. So we're going to want a BB input. No, BB input. We have the input type. That's going to be text by default. We're going to override it to be, okay, so we need the label. So the label is going to be email. We're going to have the ID is going to be email. And we're going to have the input type be email too. So input type BB input type email. Oh, cannot find you. Can I try to like, I don't know a keyboard command to like pull that in automatically. Okay, there you go. So that pulls it in. And success. Okay, here we go. So now we have an email. Now, if I put something like that in, it's not going to, that's not going to enforce that. We could set that. which I certainly don't have a problem of using the HTML. What is it called? The HTML. I forget what it is. Like the actual property to make it like actually check to see that it is an email. MDN input. That's attributes, I think. Okay, so we can have placeholder. Oh, we can also do required. So I want placeholder, probably a required. Oh, pattern. Pattern the value must match to be valid. Oh, it was validate. That's what it was. It was validate. Did they change it? I swear it used to have. There used to be like a validate one, but I guess it's now pattern. All right, well let's start with pattern. And so pattern, now this is going to be interesting because pattern is going to be based upon the type, right? So we're going to set probably text, email. Oh, text, email, and password are the three. Interesting. No, apparently not. Because if I type this, that's clearly not a password. It's okay with that. Let's try putting a pattern in and seeing if if that works. But maybe I'm not using it correctly. So I'm gonna head back over to input. Okay, I'm gonna multi-line. Nope. A multi-line you. All right, so we're gonna have pattern. Now, I want you to be, if you're an email, your email. If you're a text, and if you're a password, your password. But it's not 100% going to be the same as the display, like the toString here. So I think I should do a pattern for this, which is a little bit too bad. Impl VB input type. We'll do to pattern. And I don't really need, if I'm hard coding this could be a static stir. Okay, so let's match on self. Now in this case, I think for these three, it's going to be exactly the same. So I can take that, and that's what it's going to be. But it's not guaranteed to stay that way for everything. Okay. So for pattern, this is now going to be props input type to pattern. Excuse me. Okay, so now if I, oh yeah, okay, never mind. Thought that would yell at me. Let's play with this a little bit. So here's this pattern email. Do I have to have a validate in here? Am I? So validate needs to be a string, huh? Yeah, maybe. Maybe it does. Uh, okay. Let's throw in a button. Okay. Go to forms. Okay, so we have this BB form, BB input. I'll now throw a BB button. Now if I just do that, and we'll do create accounts. Now you're an actual button, right? Yeah. Okay. So you are a button, class button. We're in this form here. What am I missing? That should be at least. I would expect this should try to refresh the page, but it's not. Do you not see this? Okay, so it is just a button here. The button is in the form. It shouldn't be because it's just a class button. Bullfirst Dad, hello. Good evening. What am I? Okay, what am I doing wrong? I'm now so confused. Let's go to MDN to look at forms. Are things different now? Examples. So form, do I have to set the method? Usually, like previously, we didn't have to set the method. The default method was get if you didn't set it. Okay, so we have a label. Although this case it's wrapping around, which would be fine too. Input name. Button and say, yeah, see I've got that. Okay, hold on. Let me try grabbing this. Are you invalidated? Pseudo elements. If I add in, so what would that be? Like input invalid, background color, or we could just say color red. Oh, okay. it's only setting, yeah, it's just setting the invalid state for me. Okay. Which means I don't think we need that validate. Oh, input. I don't think we need this validate. I think this will be fine. Now that's going to be interesting. So I do need, I probably want to say like if this is required or not. Let's try this. We're going to have a pub required. That's going to be a Boolean. And then I think it was just required, right? Yeah, it just is required. Okay. Actually, that will copy out, so I'm fine with that. Okay, so we're getting an error here. You need to be a string? Oh, it would help if I spelled this correct, wouldn't it? That would help. Okay. So here we go. Input pattern is the email. It's not required yet, so let's switch over to. Hi, Sylvie. Are you here to get more food? Forms. No, you're here to hang out with us. Okay, so we have button. What am I doing? Okay, BB input. This is going to be required true. Okay, so that becomes required true. So now we're going to see you as required required. Okay, excellent. Now if I do this, I don't know that I can see that it set the pseudo element on it. Can I? Yeah, I can't necessarily see invalid, like that it's added to it. That'd be really nice. Okay, so we can set the invalid state and a message for that using that message, the described by, which we saw in here. So we are going to have you. You're going to be our help. Okay. So your ID. I probably want to make sure this is unique. We're going to have to format this. Oh, Zilby jumped down as eating again. So I can do a format. I want the props.id. I can reference that. Then we can just do like a dash and do help. I want this to display only if the required is true. So that's also gonna have to like, it's gonna be interesting. Or maybe we'll just not have any text here unless it's failing. How do I tell if it's failing? Oh, I have this only display if it's failing. Okay. Email. Okay. Required and must be an email. I don't know if that's a good idea. So that's what it looks like right now. I want that to only display when there is a failure state, which means I want this to okay, so email help on hey, no voice. Or at least no prominent voice. Down. Okay. Email help. Was it invalid? Oh no, it's. Thank you, Steven. I'm using the Twitch sound, the soundtrack by Twitch. And I don't think it's actually showing up on the VODs. I forgot to actually check last time, so I should probably actually check that to make sure that they're not getting onto YouTube. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but I think some of these would technically be copyrighted, but Twitch has made like an agreement to be able to play some of this music. Okay, email help. I need like a sibling for this. Ooh, and I forget how to do that. You can travel anywhere in the US for a week. Where should you go? Oh, there's so many places that you could go. I guess it depends upon what you want to do. Is like food is your example? I spent most of my time on the West Coast, so I know more about like good places in California than I know about good places in like New York. Uh, but I don't know, good there's so many like good places. You don't have a car, you're considering San Francisco. San Francisco is good. Like if you've never been there, you should probably be there once just to like sort of experience it. There's some really awesome food and restaurants in San Francisco. I mean, you don't really have to need suggestions for them because they're there. There's also decent transportation to get where you want to go to there. And there's some good restaurants on like the piers. Was it Pier 39? It's been a long time since I've been there. I would choose San Francisco over Mountain View. Mountain View is like there's not much there. I lived in Mountain View for a while. There's not much there. Like all the big companies are around there, but like nobody cares about like it's not really a touristy thing to go and like go look at Google, go look at, Oracle, go look at LinkedIn, or go look at let's go take a look at the what is it, like the new UFO building for Apple. Like nobody really cares that much. You get to work out of any Google Office. Oh, okay. Mountain View might be good because that's the original and they so I was in it once. I got invited to go in when I was living there, and they have a bowling alley, which I did bowl on. So I lost. Um, it was our teams went and played against the Google teams, and that did not fare well for us. It turns out that if you have your own bowling alley, you can practice a lot more than if you don't have a bowling alley. Go figure. So yeah, I would probably choose that one simply because that's the home office, right? That's gonna be like the most interesting one to get to, and they should have like cars and other things there for you to go and hang out at. Okay, so and San Francisco is not that far away from Mountain View. It's about 45-minute drive at most. You wouldn't bother working for Google, dead end job that looks bad on your resume. I don't think it looks bad on your resume. Also, hello Diablo. I don't think it looks bad on your resume yet. Um, Personally, I have no interest in working at Google though right now. California traffic though, I mean, yes, it has been years since I've lived there. So, take my timing with a grain of salt. I don't know. When I'm hiring, I wouldn't say that having Google on your resume would look bad. I think it's a little bit of an overreaction. Neutral at worst. I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah. All right. How do I select a sibling? I want to select a sibling for this. I think that's a plus icon. So I think it's something like, so I want this div ID help plus, if it's in something that implements invalid, then I want color red. But that's it's not it. CSS select sibling. I thought it was plus, but you can select all the following siblings using tilde instead of plus. If you need to select all HTML elements that aren't .open, whether they precede or follow .open, there's no sibling combinator for that. You need to use not instead. Interesting. Okay. So I could do tilde input. Now that didn't do it either. So input invalid input. Other way around, I should do, oh, okay. So I should do input down here. Okay. So we'll do, oh, we start on the input. There we go. So we start an input invalid, and then we do, there we go. Okay. So we're going to do color red, and then I want to do display. Now if I do display none, for example, and that's still here, it still exists. New York sounds cool, but I don't know what there even is to do there. I mean, so New York is they have, well, I mean, like San Francisco and the other big city, there's a lot of really good restaurants there, so really good food. There's a lot of good plays and performances there. So if you ever want to like go and look at some of the world class like performances, that's a good place to go to. Lots of sort of like old culture stuff. So museums, lots of art galleries. If those interest you at all, like big cities tend to have those a lot more. And then the farther east you go, the older they get, right? Because they've been around for longer. So now this displays none, but I kind of want it to not be here unless this is failing, but I don't know if I can have this actually like just not. So if you're failing to be here, I don't want it to be described by, do I? But I could do this. So now we're going to switch you over to be a styled component. Which means we want to let style or let CSS. Oh, try and actually, oh, fine. I'll try doing it for real. Um, okay, clicking away doesn't do anything. Why didn't that work? You're still invalid? Wait. Are you only allowed to be the word email? No. I'm so confused. Yeah, my pattern is doing that. I don't know why. Okay, so if I do this again. Oh, I lost it. Did I lose it? I did lose it. Okay. Oh, yeah, it should be on this. Okay, so we have this input invalid, then select email help. It has to be both email and a valid address, but that is not possible. Yeah, that is not great. Okay, so if you're invalid, but it's not changing back. Heck, even if I had nothing here, I took away the required. How about that? Okay. Does this update? Okay, I feel like I'm missing something here. Okay. Form controls that have a constraint validation applied and are currently valid. Form controls that have constraint validation applied and are currently not valid matches a form control value doesn't match the constraint set on it by its attributes such as required, pattern, step, and max. So I have no required step, pattern, or max. Why is this invalid? Why does that work? Oh, because I have this as invalid. Okay, hold on. Do I have this in two places? Let's go back to invalid. Invalid. Okay. Now we throw in a edit HTML. Let's throw in a required. Okay. Now I type something in here. It doesn't update. Why doesn't it update? So input invalid, email help. This should no longer be. Okay, I see multiple input invalids. Am I going to have to validate this myself? I feel like I'm going to have to validate this myself. Because, like, why isn't it setting that? We only have require. Okay, let's try fully refreshing this and trying this again. Okay, so I want a brand new thing here. So we're going to do input invalid and select email help and do color red. So your pattern must be email. Your required is that. Okay, so if I do email@email.com, I know I did, and it didn't seem to make a difference. I don't understand how this works. I think I'm going to have to do an if statement and then validate it. Yeah, I think we're going to have to remove it in Yew and validate it in code, which really sucks because it would have been really nice for me to just use the HTML language specs for this. But whatever. Okay, so we'll have to have an if statement for this, which means we need some logic. So we need to pass in, which means I need the text of this, which means every time it changes, I need to go into a state. Zat Trip. Sorry if I mispronounced your username horribly, but hello, welcome. Learning management system. Yes, that's exactly what we're working on. So far, it looks like this. So we have our home, not really much here. We have a list of, well, everything is horrifically broken right now. Why are you all broken? Oh yeah, because I put a to-do inside of it. So that's a thing. Just Zach is fine. Okay, I'll try to remember that. You work on one of them for work. Do you work on any of the big ones, or is it like a private, personal one for the company you work for? Okay, so okay, we need to hold the content of the input. So this is going to be the let input. I guess this is going to be let value equals use state. And our initialization function is just going to be a new string. It's a smaller one, journey.do. I don't think I've heard of that one. I will add it to my list to check out. Yeah, I'm building my own for courses I'm going to create in order to have control over everything I'm doing and also have some good checks for understandings in there, especially ones that sort of like go to my systems. Okay, input. So we get the value here, and now on chain, every time that this input changes, I want to update the value of this. So we'll do let on change callback from. Now this is going to be an event of some kind, but I forget exactly which one. And we are going to need to move in here. Move in here, which means I need to clone the value. So hold on, let's do this entire pattern. Okay. To get the value from this, I'm gonna have to use like WebSys to convert this, aren't I? So I want the target. Okay, hold on. Before I go any further, do you know what type you are? You're unknown. Oh, I need to actually put you on here. That would help. Okay, so now do you know what you are? You don't know. Is it an event? It's not yelling at me, so it might be an event. Okay, so we got the target. Now I need to convert it into the specific element. So input element is equal to target dot it's not into, it's unchecked. No. Oh, what's the one? It's the dangerous one, but I forget. It's like the web. It's a web says. Oh, you can't tell me. I'm not unwrap unchecked. Not any of these. Oh, it's gonna be an into. Do I not have it in here? We have Wazenbeinjen and we have WebSys. Okay, those two should be it. We are gonna have to pull in HTML. I think it's gonna be HTML input element. Unchecked into. Okay. That's what it is. Thank you. Let's see. What was I? I was in inputs. This isn't the right thing then. There must be something else that I could get. Wait, what are you? Are you target? Do you give me an Oh, you give me an option. So you have to exist because I know that you're an input. Oh, I think that's what the problem was. So it's unwrap there. And then I can do an unchecked. There we go. Now I can do an unchecked into, and this is going to be an HTML input element. So then I turn you into an input element equals to that. I then want to get the value, which I might as well just get it out of here, right? So then we'll get the value of this. And then I might as well just set it directly inside of this thing. So this becomes our value dot set. Hey, no, this is a lot of voice, not that much voice. Okay, value dot set event dot target value, and we do that. Okay, so that will set you. Okay, what are you upset about? Unknown literal prefix. Oh, wait, what? Whoa. How did I do this? Weird. Okay. Okay. Happy there. Happy here. So now now I have, so yeah, you're right. It was an option. I now have access to the value that is being set inside of here. So I could basically say, like, if you're empty, I probably want to do this in a function here. Let's do a private function for setting like the error message. So error message, we're going to take in the value. And I also need to take in if it's required. So hold on, value is going to be, that could be a stir. Required is going to be a Boolean. And this is going to have to be a string. It should be an option string. And I guess technically, this doesn't have to be a string. This could be a static stir. Okay, so we're going to, let's do a few different if statements here first to see it. Should work if it's empty though. I've checked it in 2 browsers now without a U address, and it worked. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So I wonder, well, I'm still going to do it this way now instead of the browser running the thing. Although I do have to wonder if, like, maybe Firefox just does stuff differently and therefore it's not working as expected. Error message. Okay, so if the value is empty, I want to return a sum with the string saying email is required. Okay. I'm doing this here with an early return right now because I'm not exactly sure what the shape of this function is going to be, and we can change this pretty easily later. Now here we're going to do a block. We'll do an error message. Pass in. Okay, so the value is going to be, we have to deref and clone the value. Value. So if I clone you, do I have to explicitly clone you? I think I have to explicitly clone you. Sorry, I have to explicitly deref you. Can I find value required in a scope? Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Required is going to be props dot required. Okay, now you're an option and expected to stir found struct string. Okay. Now if I'm doing a deref, can I do this? And then I'll just delete both of you. Ooh, okay, I think that works. We're going to map. We're going to get the requirements. This is going to be the error message. Sure, we'll do error message like that. And then I want to put the div inside of here. Like that. Oh, and the message is going to be what goes inside of you. Error, error, error. Where's my error? Is the error in here? The error is in here. Because it's not a sum. It's a none. What am I thinking? This is not a result. It's a none. Okay, what are you upset about? Because required is not being used. That's fine. So back to you. Oh, I realized you can hear this, can't you? I'll snooze it. Okay, email is required. I put something in here. It goes away. Excellent. Okay, so the next thing to do and work on then is to validate the email. Do any of you know any good validation libraries in Rust? So there's like validator, validator. That has a lot of downloads. You can use the browser validation and call check validity. Oh, really? I don't think I've tried that before. Let's check. Check validity. Okay, so select element. Okay, input element. Check validity. Returns true if the value of the element has no valid problems, otherwise returns false. Okay. Which would then mean that I should be able to do it in here, right? So in this callback, now I'm just getting this and setting this right here. Let's, I'll try this again right now. This is a terrible use of this. But we'll do let is valid equals, okay, let's also do like let input element equals, and I want 4 of these. Okay. So you're happy. Is valid would then be input element dot no. Input element dot valid check validity. This doesn't seem to be the right one. Set, and then this is going to be input element dot value. Ooh, okay. So it likes that. Then we can do a glue. Wait, we have a logger. I have a log. Where's my log? I should name this like BB log or something. I probably should put like a log thing into the component library. I forget how to where that is. It's somewhere. All. Fine. I'll just do glue. Glue console log is valid. Is valid. Okay, so we got nothing yet. Is valid false. Still is valid false. What are you supposed to be? Oh, pattern email. Okay, do we have to do email here? Is valid false. There we go. Now you're true. It'll always be email invalid because the pattern you added. So interesting. Okay, that documentation for the pattern is really bad. And then if I completely remove you, you're false. If you're anything else, you're false. But if you're oh, that's false too. Wait, why? You should be an email. How did it get true there for a second? How was this there again? I deleted it. Now I get true. False. True. Okay. How did I added it back? I must have refreshed or something. I don't remember adding it back, but we are not going to have this pattern in here, which means we don't need that pattern function. So this entire to pattern thing, let's get rid of it. Okay, so we have you gone. The error message. We'll have to. So then I might not need error message here. What I would need to do though is store the valid here, and then use that elsewhere. So I'll probably have to have two states. One for the value, one for it's being valid? Probably. But we'll have to do that next time. So let's put a to do in here. To do so set error message in DOM when invalid. Okay. There we go. I am gonna have to take off from my day job. I do work the day job, so that is something I'll have to do. Let's see. I see a couple people streaming right now. Mr. Halsey streaming. Kuvimon was streaming. Kuvimon, I think, is playing the games. I think Kuvimon finished the game that he was working on, and that was in Rust. It was a really cool sort of like racing game. Now he's playing games, but I'm going through ads to see if he's working on a game or if he's playing games. Oh, yeah, okay. He's playing other people's games right now, so that's a thing. Let's raid Mr. Halsey. Let me load up that stream there, and I will set a raid for Mr. Halsey to go. All right. So, thank you again for hanging out with me today. I will be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time to continue working on this project. I am sometimes working on this after hours, but if I do, I will just sort of like give an update of what I did at the beginning of the stream. So with that, thank you so much for hanging out again. I will see you all next time, and have a great day. Bye. You just don't get access to